Do you actually want to find out how it feels to play this game? If yes, then you are on the right place. The idea of this video is that I want you to feel the atmosphere of the game. I want you to understand that, okay, this is why it's special, this is why it's unique. If I achieve that, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, especially if you want to see more arena breakout and other stuff. So I divided this video into 3 sections, of which the first one is the objective. What needs to be done in this game? Why do I want to play this game? The main objective is to enter the battleground and then bring out loot. Weapons, armor, items, equipment, medical equipment, and all that stuff. And thereby you can improve your gear. You put that into your storage, and that's the ultimate goal. You want to be a soldier with a very nice and unique equipment. At the moment there are 5 different maps you can play on, and all of them can be entered in solo mode, or you can team up, you can play with a friend, you can play as a squad, for example, if you want to. And the uniqueness of this game is that it's a PvP versus environment type of game, which means you're gonna face other players and you're gonna face bots. And on top, you're gonna face players who disguise themselves as bots. I'm gonna get back to that in a second, but you have 2 game modes to choose from. One is Tactical Ops or Tact Ops, which is like the standard game mode where you take your own equipment, you enter the battlefield, you do a mission or a task, or you just have fun and loot some stuff. That's like one game mode. In tactical operations, if you die, then all of your equipment is gone. Everything, every weapon, armor, medical equipment, everything is just gone. You died, everything gone. There is a small exception though, so you have an item called safe. Everything you put into the safe, it can be escorted even if you die, but it's a small container, so you cannot pump it up with like big weapons and such. The other one is the covert ops, where you disguise yourself as a bot and you enter the battleground, and in that game mode other bots are not going to shoot you unless you attack them, and there may be other covert ops players on the battleground who may think that you are a bot, but they don't know. So you need to be very cautious, because if they attack you, then you're just gonna die. Everything you can escort is gonna be yours, but if you die, kind of nothing happens because you had random gear and you're not losing anything. And by the way, a tip for covert ops: bots are the only ones starting to shout if somebody is around, like, "Oh my god, there's an enemy, come over here, you're not gonna escape." So that's it for the objective of the game. Let's hop over to the preparation phase, because I think 20% or 30% of the game is like actual preparation. If you don't like to select, which are the things you want to take with you, then this game might not be for you. So let's start with the character screen. On the left hand side, you have your character. You can see armor, weapons, you can see the rig and the backpack. And on the right hand side, you have your storage, which is like the inventory, the boxes, and all kind of things you can put stuff into. You can wear a helmet, an armor, and an earpiece, and a face cover that's like a gas mask or something. You can have a primary, a secondary weapon, a pistol, and a knife. And then you have a rig, which is like your vest. And the difference between your rig and your backpack is that everything you put into your rig can be quickly used on the battleground. Let's say you have a magazine in that rig, then you can quickly reload your weapon. But if you have the magazine in your backpack, then you cannot do that. Same applies to medical equipment, biscuits, and all that stuff. The backpack serves a different type of purpose. That's your storage during the game, and you can put enemy weapons into that, items you find, medical stuff, and all kind of things. And these are the things you want to escort. You want to bring them out from the battlefield. Then you have this little safe, which I mentioned already, and then you have a keychain, and basically same applies as for the safe. So if you die, your keys are not gonna be lost. So on the right hand side, you have your storage, where you have your weapons, your magazines, ammunition, armor, helmet, backpack, rigs, medical equipment, all kind of stuff. Storage management is very important in this game, because in the early phase you are already going to be overwhelmed with items, and you need to precisely understand which are the items you want to keep and which are the ones you want to sell. So long story short, to get prepared for a fight, you want to equip yourself with a helmet, with some armor, with a weapon or two, and some medical equipments, magazine, ammunition. That's what you need to enter the battleground. And oh, by the way, there are different type of magazines which you can use for the same weapon, and for each magazine you need to know what type of ammunition you need, and even within a specific type of ammunition there are different variations, and all of them have different attributes. Same applies for armor, so there are different types of armors in the game, but it's not that complicated. So there are 5 tiers. The higher tier, the better the armor is. One interesting fact regarding armors is that even if you have high-end armor, you use that, you're gonna get shot, that armor is going to be damaged, and you need to make sure you repair your armor. And if you repair your armor, it's not going to be as good as the new versions of it, because the durability number is going to be decreased. Now that you have weapon and armor, the last thing you're gonna need is medical equipment, and it takes some time to understand what type of medical equipment can be used for what. There is a dedicated screen which explains you that if your bone is being fractured, or maybe you get a wound that is bleeding, then different type of medical equipment is needed to fix that or to heal yourself. After you understand what type of medical equipment is being used for what, then it becomes clean and it's not that scary anymore. So now is the time to head into the battle, but before I do, there are a couple of things which I want to mention. So let's start with the gunsmith. So the gunsmith is the place where you can customize all of the weapons in the game. Each of the weapons has a default build, but you can replace every single item, every single part of your weapon, starting from the magazine, your hand grip, your sight, your stock, your receiver. Every single attachment and part is going to have an impact on the recoil, on the ergonomics, on the accuracy, and so on. And you just want to find the right combination which works for you. If you build something that doesn't cost too much, but it's still very efficient and you can handle it, that's the gun you should be using as your primary one. So don't aim to go for the high-end weapons only, because you're gonna run out of money very quickly, my friend. I hope I still have your attention, and if I do, now is the time to hit the like button to make sure that this video can spread, and if you haven't already, then subscribe to my channel. I mentioned money, so next one is going to be the market. Everything you find in the game, you can put that onto the market and you can sell it for money, and that money can be used obviously to buy other type of equipment or ammunition or whatever. The supply and demand rules fully apply, so it can happen that a big YouTuber starts promoting a very nice weapon build, and the next day all of the players are willing to play with that gun. In that case, they're gonna purchase all the cheap ones, and then the price of that weapon is going to be higher. So it can happen that on Tuesday you buy something for 10k, the next day it's going to cost you 50k, which means that if you are a good salesman, then you can leverage this market and you can get tons of money by buying and selling at the right moment. Just saying, you don't even need to fight. And just to make it even more complex, why not? You also have contacts, and you can sell your stuff to those contacts as well, because there are some items which you just don't want to sell on the market. It just doesn't make sense. You just want to get rid of them quickly. In that case, you can sell them to your contacts. And talking about contacts, those are the guys who are giving you tasks and missions, and if you complete them, then you're gonna get rewards. You're gonna get weapons, medical equipment, armors, and all that stuff. On top of selling stuff to them, there are certain contacts who offer stuff and you can buy equipment. Besides money, you can also collect supply coupons, which you can also use to buy yourself equipment from contacts. And on top, there are some contacts who are not selling stuff to you, they are exchanging or trading things with you, which means that you find some items on the battlefield and you give it to them. In an exchange, you get a weapon, an armor, medical equipment, ammunition, and so on. And now we get to the point where you can take your stuff and enter into the game. And guys, this is where it becomes real. And when I say real, I mean it's real, because 50% of your brain is going to be part of the game. This is not a game which you can play while talking to others. You need to focus. And the reason why you want to do that is because unconsciously you're gonna know that if you die, all of your stuff is gone, and you don't want that, obviously. So when you're sneaking through the bushes and you hear some footsteps around you, and because of the audio, you're not going to precisely know where the enemy is, you're just gonna like do this. Oh my god, and that level of stress, you're gonna feel that. It's going to make your heart beat faster. And if you are entering a gunfight, then it's like an adrenaline rush. Let's assume that you spend like 200,000 on a high-end sniper gun with like specific zoom and all kind of fancy stuff. You enter the battlefield and the rules still apply. If you are being shot, you're gonna die. Easily, I mean easily die. And because of that, you want to be cautious. You don't want to make noise. You want to make sure that the enemies are not spotting you before you spot them. If you are wounded and you hear these sound effects like then the only thing you're gonna think of is that where's the next exit point which I can use to escape from the battleground. Just for one moment, circling back how realistic this game is. You have leg stamina, so you cannot endlessly run, but on top you have arm stamina, so if you're holding a sniper or your gun for a long time, your hands are gonna start shaking, especially if your arm is already wounded or bleeding. And because of the colors and the armors we have in the game, it's not easy to spot the enemies. So if they are hiding somewhere, it's not that they are outlined with some kind of red thing or they have a health bar above them. No, absolutely not. You really need to focus to spot the enemy. So this game is really nice and exciting, and this is what I want to highlight, the excitement. So I hope you got this aha moment, like, now I understand what this shady guy is talking about. I'm gonna try the game because I want to experience that feeling. If I succeeded, then give me a like, and if you still haven't, then subscribe to my channel. At this point, let me give a shout out to iStream, who is really deep into the game already, and he's been doing another type of beginner's guide. I think it's worth watching that video as well after you finish this one. So the game is still in closed beta, but as you can see, it's very advanced, so you don't need to wait too long, and you can try yourself as a real soldier if you are brave enough. Thank you for your attention. See you next time. Bye.